But let's celebrate our 21st in a life-impacting manner.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Nigerian Diaspora Television. I am Adetunji Omotola.
And I'm Chinaka Ibunze, and we're coming to you from Johannesburg, where we're seeing the last few days of Africa Month. And of course, today is Africa Day. How's it been for you, Tunji?
It's been fantastic. The day has started with lots of sunshine. Everyone is excited. We're hearing speeches by Thabo Mbeki. It's a great speech. I am an African.
I am an African. I owe my being to the hills and the valleys, the mountains and the glades, the rivers, the deserts, the trees, the flowers, the seas, and the ever-changing seasons that define the face of our native land.
And today I decided to put on this lovely rainbow
representing
scarf.
South Africa, Nigeria.
South Africa. It's got all the colors, six colors. And I'm wearing my Hausa hat from northern Nigeria. And you're looking great yourself.
Yes, I'm representing Africa with the head wrap.
And the earrings look nice.
Yes, we'll get to the earrings later.
Okay, great. The main news story, of course, has been the awful blast at the Manchester Arena in England, where 22 people, which included children as young as 8 years old, were killed, and almost 60 people injured. More than 20,000 people, mainly youths, had attended a concert by American singer Ariana Grande. She had just left the stage at the end of the concert when the blast went off in the foyer area of the arena.
So this is just really sad.
This is bizarre. A 22-year-old man decides to kill so many children.
Yes, and they said that he had just come back from Libya 3 days before the attack happened.
He had traveled to Libya. He's of Libyan descent, and his father is in Libya. His brother is in Libya, and it's been a nightmare because apparently they said he may have been radicalized from this trip that he went to.
Yes.
His neighbors have been talking about him chanting in Muslim prayers all over the place, and they talked about flags spotted outside his window.
On a lighter note, we have some great story for you, all with unique African flavor.
Yes, last week I attended a book launch at Golden Institute of Business Sciences by none other than former President Olusegun Obasanjo, entitled Making Africa Work. It is billed as a practical account of how to ensure growth in Africa and to create jobs. I attended the event along with my wife Mpo.
In the book, I try to bring out some of the experiences I had in government and the experiences other people had that I have shared. And I believe some of them you will see in the book, but I just want to talk about two significant ones. When I became military head of state, I was a beneficiary of a coup. I will not say coup planner or a planner or executor, but I was beneficiary of a coup. Somebody also asked a question, he said, well, if you start making Africa work, then what next? I said, what next is we'll be making Africa work better. Let's make Africa work first, and then we go on to make Africa work better.
I like to see this as a book for the next generation. I like to see it as a book that lays out some of the big questions facing Africa. It's a book that fundamentally seeks answers through policy choices. It doesn't seek answers through trying to change the world and then changing Africa. It's the other way around. It's a book that does not dwell on conspiracies or history of the past choices that are no longer within our reach, as much as it does focus on the future and the choices that lie within our power. And in fact, it reminds me, in thinking about this, of that great quote by John F. Kennedy, which is as apt today amidst the tumult of American politics as it is for Africa, when he said, "Let us not seek the Republican answer or the Democratic answer, but the right answer. Let us not seek to fix the blame for the past, let us accept our own responsibility for the future. And this is a book about accepting our own responsibility.
It was huge, it was angry, it was drawing near. Behind his house, a secret place, was the shadow of the demon he could never face. He built a wall of steel and flame, and men with guns to keep it tame.
And also I managed to track the president down to his hotel room just before he left for Otta to find out his insights for Africa. Mr. President, sir, please can you tell us, with the new AU chairman, what do you think he will be able to achieve as AU chair, and do you have confidence in him?
Well, the new AU chair, for as much as I know, it's not a greenhorn as far as AU operation, AU Constitutive Act are concerned. He has been based in Addis Ababa. He has been very active, representing his own country, and as foreign minister, he had done very well. I believe it's all these put together that recommended him for the job. Now, but there is something that is happening. I think it's just fortuitously, it's not initiated by him, but the outcome of it, he will have to implement, and that is the reform. President Kagame was tasked by the AU to lead an AU reform, and he submitted a very good report at the last AU summit. And of course, part of our problem, not only at the AU level, but even at most national levels in Africa, is we have reports and there's no adequate follow-up. The reports are put in shelves and they continue to gather dust and spider webs in the cupboards. But this time, President Kagame was requested and he graciously accepted also to start the implementation of the report. And what the AU wisely did is to task 3 people: the last chairman of AU, the incoming who is now the current chairman, and then the man who actually chaired the committee on the recommendations of reform. And I see that as a very good beginning for the new chairman of the commission. I believe that he on the seat will be the man to implement what need to be done in terms of whatever the 3 presidents will say, yes, this has to be done now. This has to be done in 3 months' time. So I believe that augurs well, particularly in the area of getting adequate funding for AU. AU cannot be taken seriously, nor can it achieve much if it has to depend almost to the point of 90% for its program from outsiders. European Union and such other organizations. And I believe that the money to run AU efficiently and effectively can be made within Africa.
So the former president gave strong kudos to the current president of the African Development Bank. He was so happy with him.
Oh, that's nice. Anyways, Tunji, notice anything?
Absolutely. I mean, the earrings are spotted. Yes, looks good.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, I had the privilege of visiting Mr. Labi Akapo of Akapo Jewels in his premises with his wife, where they run a school for young African jewelers.
I became a goldsmith in London probably more than 40 years ago. From then onwards, I didn't know I was going to go this direction, but I knew I wanted to reach the top in the industry I was in. So I felt at that time I had challenges in London, and I felt I'd leveled off to as high as I could go in London.
What has been the challenges you faced as a black jeweler?
There wasn't too many of people of colour or black people in the industry in London. I managed to go for some interviews and sort of explain, look, I'm one of those people, I had so much passion, would you employ me, would you take me on? And I managed to find someone called Mr. Barry Stern, and he was from a family of goldsmiths as well, so he had a lot of experience, and I was able to learn a lot from him. Then I came to South Africa, new challenges. I came at a time, probably not long after the new dispensation, but the challenges I felt I was coming up against was people under my European colleagues understanding that I knew the jewelry industry to the utmost and where I wanted to go, and they had challenges with me, but they had a belief, I think, a misguided belief that African people don't make jewellery and there's not many of us around here, so we weren't able to make it. So I then decided to make jewellery at a very high level, and one of the things I decided to make was a butterfly in platinum, because I felt if I make something that they themselves would have challenges to make, maybe they would understand that I'm not just a goldsmith with just a little experience. I've got a vast knowledge of experience from the different types of companies I worked at in the UK. This is a necklace, a bracelet, a ring and earrings which I made when I first came to the country in 2003, and this is the actual item all being worn on a model. Okay, this is a series of work I did in London back in the towards the late 90s. Christie's, for instance, this one I made these particular earrings here. Some of my work did appear in Sotheby's. This is a particular necklace I made with some earrings to match in with black Tahitian pearls back in 1999.
Your training program, can you tell us a little more about the students?
I started at a very high end in Europe, in London, where I started the jewelry industry, and I couldn't find people skilled like me here, so it was obvious that for me to progress I'd have to train people to do what I do, and then that way we can expand the business, because I can't do it all alone. I need others with me, and that was the purpose and starting the school at the same time. But obviously private industry comes first, and that's what our main champion is for our business. You need to have passion in order to do the type of industry we do. If you don't have that, you're a long way from the start. You need to have that zeal, that zest to go in that direction, because this is it's jewelry manufacture. It's not you can learn it in 6 months. You really need to be at it for at least 4 to 5 years, and then you're getting somewhere. The next 5 years after that is gaining experience. So it's really about 10 years to really, and then after that, then everything's open to you once you've acquired all the skills.
We want everyone to feel we're happy for this thing.
as now you have opened our mouth so that we can talk. So we give you the right to say, as the Osioma family who came here, we have seen a beautiful flower that we want to take to join our family. So for us, then you present whatever you've got on your hands to say. This is what we got to ask for the flower.
Where's your red cap now?
I forgot it. You see. Last time.
So Jay will show you, he's the guy who knows the place. He came and danced before he brought Lobola. Yeah. No, thank you to be a gentleman.
It definitely looked like a beautiful, beautiful day. So we wish them many years of blissful happiness.
And Chinaka, the other day I bumped into a young lady in a car park. In fact, she was busy with canvassing for a very interesting and indeed worthwhile project called #Being21.
We're actually a group of 4 students who are turning 21 years of age this year, and we want to celebrate our 21st in a life-impacting manner by saying that we have committed ourselves into collecting blankets because we found a home in the rural part of Mpumalanga, and we were like, let us reach out for these people instead of making parties and whatsoever. Let's celebrate our 21st in a life-impacting manner. So yeah, we're actually collecting blankets. So far we've collected 60 blankets at a total contribution of 9,000, and we still need 60 more blankets because it's a home which takes care of 120 kids. So we need 60 more blankets, and we've thought that we can't just get there and give the blankets without doing anything. So we want to feed the kids. So we're looking at feeding close to 200 to 250 people on the day at an additional cost of 7,000. And we also need to hire a 4-tonner truck which will transport the blankets to Dagagwel. So that's about it.
That's very impressive. So when is this event going to take place?
It is due to take place on the 24th of June this year.
And what are the particular circumstances of those kids in the orphanage?
The orphanage takes care of kids that no longer have parents, and I think there are 1 or 2 who are just from disadvantaged backgrounds, so they took them in. It's a poverty-stricken community, so that's what caught our hearts. And what actually made me fond of the home is that they actually take care of the kids as you would take care of your very own, and that was inspiring and humbling for me, hence I chose the home.
That is a very good project you've got. That's a very good project. Very good. What these youngsters are doing with this #Being21 is really very powerful.
Wow.
To be spending their time and energy trying to save others from the cold is really inspiring.
And I hope other 20-somethings are watching this and being inspired themselves, you know, because there are a lot of 20-somethings out there who feel that they can be selfish. And these people are showing that we can be 20-something and be selfless and responsible. And on that note, so soon we come to the end of yet another absolutely, hopefully, enjoyable program. We hope you had a great time too.
Yes, and also please remember to continue leaving your comments on the show, and please subscribe to our channel, and we'll continue to bring you the news, views and interesting stories of Nigerians at home and those in the diaspora. Until next time, Kachifo
Odabo.
Say Gobe.